Hey friends, welcome to your Vinyasa practice. This week we will be doing a lot of shoulder work in terms of strengthening and opening. Um, we'll be working towards a particular peak pose called Pincha Mayurasana, which is loosely translated as peacock. It's a forearm stand or, forearm stand. So, keeping in mind a couple of philosophical aspects of our practice, one, the practice for practice itself, which is abhyasa, and two, the non-attachment to the outcome, which is vairagya. These are not new concepts. I've mentioned them the past couple of weeks, and it's really helpful to just continue to reiterate how important those two aspects are, how fundamental they are to our yoga practice and the practice of being in this life, especially right now. So, as I've been doing lately, I'll read to you a little bit about the specific practice of abhyasa for the practice itself. So we'll start out in a child's pose position, and the couple of different options you can take for child's pose. One, with the knees together, arms down alongside the body. Two, knees wide, big toes touching so the feet are flat. They're not one on top of the other, but feet are flat and arms stretched forward. Go ahead and get yourself set up in one of those two shapes. As long as that feels okay on the knees, if it doesn't, feel free to come onto your back and hug your knees into your chest. Basically, you're flipping your child's pose upside down. I'll join you for a few minutes in that shape, and while we're there, we'll just take a few minutes to reflect on what practice means. And dropping into your first shape, starting to breathe deep into the belly, starting to relax the physical body, muscles of the face, the jaw, the neck, the throat, the shoulders, the spine. Settling in here. As you settle in, begin to think about what is your daily practice, your daily ritual. It doesn't have to be that you have a daily asana practice, the physical practice of yoga. That doesn't necessarily mean abhyasa. But what sort of daily rituals do you have in your life? Do you find sacred? Do you feel that ground you and keep you on a particular path with intention? So just read to you part of the section from Meditations on the Mat on abhyasa. Continuing to focus on your breath and just listen to the sound of my voice as we drop in here. This is from page 15, Meditations from the Mat. Lao Tzu captured the essence of abhyasa or practice. We get the job, we don't get the job. We get married, we don't get married. Our family is well, our family is troubled. Our friends flourish, our friends founder. Our demons are melting away, our demons are at the door. We wake up with a love for life. We wake up filled with free-floating anxiety. We feel worthy of the love in our life. We feel unworthy of the love in our life. Through it all, though, we come back to the mat. We return to the meditation cushion and we do the next right thing. Let's take a few more breaths here. So from your child's pose, we'll come into a modified tabletop. So we're modifying it in that we're coming up onto the elbows and the forearms. You're still on your knees are underneath your hips, but your elbows are starting to stack just underneath the shoulders, forearms are rooted, and the fingertips are active and engaged. If you can get a sense of the navel hugging up into the spine, you're pressing down into active hands, you're lengthening out through the crown of the head and the tip of the tailbone. Feel the shoulder blades spreading wide, feel the collarbone broadening. From here, we'll take cat and cow on the forearms. So as you inhale, just let the belly draw down, maybe the heart slightly lifts, we're not crunching at the back of the neck. As you exhale, pressing the floor away, around the chin in, arch the spine towards the ceiling. Start to find your own rhythm, your own breath as you inhale, lifting the heart any amount. As you exhale, curling the chin into the chest. And say about 3 to 4 more rounds on your own, depending on the length of your breath. On your next inhale, come back through that neutral spine. You still have your rooted elbows, forearms, palms of the hands, and engaged fingertips. You're going to stay like that. You might slide your elbows a little bit straight forward on your mat. You want to keep your elbows in line with your shoulders versus winging them out to the sides. From here, we'll curl toes under, elongate the legs so you're coming into a forearm plank. So right away, this is going to start to build some heat through the shoulders. Think about reaching through the heels and the crown of the head, drawing the navel up into the spine as you let the hips drop a little bit so they're at least in line with the shoulders, maybe slightly lower. Deep breath in. On your breath out, we'll come all the way onto the belly. You're arriving straight into Sphinx. Uncurl the toes, press down through the tops of the feet. So for most of you that take this class regularly, you're familiar with Sphinx pose in your body. We do this often. It's a really great way to open the front body. Feel that broadening across the chest, and maybe a slight strengthening through the shoulder girdle, the glenohumeral joint. Breathe in, breathe out. From here, we're going to stretch your arms straight forward, kind of like imagining that you were Superman flying through space. But curl your chin in and rest your forehead for a moment. Arms just straight out in front of you, tops of the feet resting. We'll come into Shalabhasana, locust pose, arms stretching forward, feet stretching back, big breath in, everything lifts away from the mat. Turn your palms to face one another, thumbs are up, deep breath in, deep breath out. One more breath in here, lift. And then on your exhale, palms underneath the shoulders, press down through your hands and your knees. Let's come back to an active child's pose. So this time in your child's pose, when you press your hips back towards your heels and you stretch your arms forward, keep pressing down through your palms. When you relax your head, you're lifting your wrists, you're lifting your forearms, your elbows, your shoulders. You're active through this child's pose. Now bring your elbows down, walk them a little bit more forward. Bring your palms together to touch, and then bending at the elbows, rest the thumbs behind the nape of the neck. You can start to sink the hips back towards the heels. Start to broaden across the chest, the collarbone. You can continue to walk the elbows forward as you relax your forehead down. 2 deep belly breaths here. Extend the arms, plant the palms, pull yourself into high plank. Curling toes, lifting knees, spreading fingers, root through the palms of your hands. So your inner thighs squeeze together. Feel the thighs engage. Feel the crown of the head reach forward and the tailbone reach down towards the backs of the knees. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Lift the hips, downward facing dog. Relax your head. Feel free to pedal out the feet. Your first downward facing dog. Notice where you are stiff, if you are stiff. Where you feel flexible, if you feel flexible. Where you feel tired. Where you feel energized. From here, we'll walk our hands backward. We'll walk the hands back to meet the feet. We'll come into a forward fold at the back of the mat. And feel free to bend your knees here. Relax your arms or grab your opposite elbows. Keep bending the knees. You can sway your body side to side if that feels good. If you have your opposite elbows, switch out that grip so now opposite forearm is in front. Continue to relax your head. Now, if you have that bind on the elbows, release that. Everyone, fingertips to shins as you lengthen the spine out. Squeeze your shoulder blades together on your back. Press down through your feet. Deep breath in here. Keep that strength through the back body. Bring the hands to the heart. The shoulders are at least as high as the hips, if not slightly higher. Press down through your feet. Stand up. Deep breath in, extend the arms. On your breath out, arms wide, fold all the way back in. Bend your knees as much as you need to get your palms flat. Relax your head. Walk yourself right back out to downward facing dog. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Shift forward, high plank. Exhale, relax your knees. Hips shift back towards the heels. Come to your active child's pose. So the arms are engaged as if you're in downward facing dog, lifting forearms, elbows, triceps away from the mat. Feel your shoulder blades engaging on your back. Pull yourself forward into forearm tabletop. Take a peek at your elbows. Be sure they're shoulder width distance apart. Stay rooted through your hands. Stay active through the arms. As you inhale, lift the heart. As you exhale, press the floor away, round the chin into the chest, and arch the spine towards the ceiling. 3 more times with your breath. There will be a lot of repetition of shapes in this practice, and the repetition helps the body prepare and learn the mechanical movements to prepare for Pincha Mayurasana forearm stand. Whether you get into it or not is besides the point. Come back to a neutral spine. Keep rooting down through your forearms, lifting up. Extend your feet back behind you, forearm plank. Find that nice long spine, big breath in. And then exhale, come all the way onto your belly, find Sphinx. In Sphinx, uncurl your toes, press down through the tops of the feet, lift up and out of the chest, out of the neck. And adding on here, bend your left knee, so heel towards the left glute. Reach back with your left hand. Can you bind left hand to left ankle? And just for a moment, let this be soft, so kind of collapse into it. And then as you're ready, big breath in, kick left foot into left hand. Pull the heel away from the glute. Feel that spreading across the left side of the chest. Breathe in, breathe out. Release that side. Second side. Press down through your left forearm and hand. Stay active there. Bend your right knee, right heel towards the glute. Pull the heel close, and then you kind of relax into this. Just let it be soft for a few moments. And then kick foot into hand. Feel that spreading across the right side of the chest. Lift up and out of the shoulder, out of the neck. Let the throat be open. Deep breath in. Breath out, release. Stretch your arms forward. Find that nice long Superman spine. Let your forehead rest for a moment. Next breath in, engage the arms, legs, lift everything up. Keep the gaze down at the floor and the neck neutral. As you breathe in, lift the arms, lift the legs. As you breathe out, pull the elbows wide. Make that cactus shape with the upper body. Elbows in line with the shoulders. Inhale, re-extend the arms. Exhale, elbows wide. One more time like that. Palms underneath the shoulders. Press your way back to an active child's pose. From your active child pose, pull yourself forward, high plank. Now from your high plank, lift and float your left heel. So you're in a three-legged high plank. Your left leg is lifted. It doesn't have to be high. Can you bend that left heel, squeeze it towards the glute? Deep breath in here. On your exhale, round the spine, pull the knee towards the nose. Can you bring that left foot up between the hands? Set your right knee down. And then we'll shift back to half splits, half Hanumanasana. So hips move back over the right knee. Flex your left toes towards your face. Bring your hands to frame your left leg. Deep breath in, lift up and out of the chest. Exhale, fold over the long left leg without twisting the hips. So keep those hips nice and neutral. The tendency is to kind of roll off to that right hip or left hip, but see if you can keep them neutral. Deep breath in, walk yourself back into that low lunge, bending into the left knee, lifting the right knee. You have a Vashisthasana on the right side. Your right palm steps one handprint forward. Your right palm is your base. Your left foot can simply step halfway back your mat as you roll into the outer edge of your right foot. Now you can stay right here, or you can stack left leg on top of right, lift the left arm. Deep breath in. On your breath out, high plank. Option here to move through a vinyasa flow. This can be anything of your choosing. You can simply bring the knees down, move through cat and cow. You can come all the way onto the belly and press your way up into low cobra. Whatever it is you're choosing, over the next breath cycle or two, we'll meet in downward facing dog. In your downward facing dog, relax your head. Feel the tailbone rising and the shoulder girdle warming. Walk your hands back to meet your feet, just like you've done before. Relax your head. Bend your knees at least a little bit, if not a lot. Walk your fingertips up to your shins. Inhale, find a halfway lift. Keep pressing down through your feet. Keep that slight bend in your knees. Bring your hands to your heart. Feel your back body doing some work. Feel your feet pressing down. Take a breath in here. Back body becomes straight. Stand up. Back of your mat. Inhale, stretch the arms high. Exhale, arms wide, folding back in. Relax your head. Walk yourself back out into downward facing dog. From your downward facing dog, knees down, child's pose. Let your child's pose be passive. Rest. And last little bit here. We'll come into a forearm tabletop. From our forearm tabletop, we'll take a peek at our elbows. It's important to keep elbows in line with the shoulders and not beyond or wider than the shoulders. Keep pressing down to your hands. We'll curl the toes under and lift the hips so you're in forearm downward facing dog. Begin to walk the feet a little bit closer to the elbows. Take the gaze just between the forearms or the hands as it feels comfortable for your neck. Inhale, extend your left leg up. And you're just pausing here and breathing. Left leg stretching up in the air. You're rising onto the ball end of the right foot, pressing down actively through the forearms. Deep breath in. Deep breath out, release that. Child's pose. This time in child's pose, be active. Lifting the forearms, elbows, upper arms away. Relax your forehead to the mat. Breathe in. Breathe out. Forearms and elbows come down. Come to your tabletop. A few rounds of cat and cow here. Just like you've done before, we're incrementally adding on, repeating each step as we add to it. Vinyasa, the practice for the sake of the practice. One more time through that cat and cow. Step your way back into forearm plank. Neutral spine, navel is active. Nice and long, reach through the crown of the head and the heels of the feet. Slowly set the pelvis down, find Sphinx. Deep breath in, deep breath out. This whole sequence begins again, leading with the right side. You're bending your right heel towards the right glute. Reach back, right hand binds right ankle. Pull the heel into the glute. And then kick into the hand, lift and up. Lift up and out of the chest. Press yourself away from the yoga mat with your left arm, left forearm. Release that nice and slow. Come back to Sphinx. Bend the left knee, reach back with the left hand, bind the hand to the ankle. Pull the heel into the glute. Kick the foot into the hand. Deep breath in here. Deep breath out. Release that. Stretch the arms forward. Let your forehead rest. Chin tucks in. Inhale to Shalabhasana, stretching through legs and arms. Deep breath in. Breath out, elbows wide, lifting the chest. Stay active through the legs. Inhale, re-extend the arms. Exhale, elbows wide. One more time like that, all the way through. Inhale, extend. Exhale, elbows wide. Palms underneath shoulders. Press your way back briefly through that active child's pose. And then curl your toes under. Downward facing dog. Shift forward, find high plank. Deep breath in, lengthen out through the spine. Press the floor away, slightly round the upper back. Bend your right knee, actually float your right leg first. So you're just floating that right foot above the yoga mat. You're in this three-legged high plank. You're pausing here, breathing in. Now bend your right knee, right heel to the glute. Deep breath in. On your exhale, press the floor away, round the spine, curl that knee in towards the nose, and then plant that right foot up in between the hands. Set your left knee down. Shift your hips back, half split. Ardha Hanuman. Press down to your fingertips, lengthen up through the spine, lift up through the heart. Flex your toes towards the face. Exhale, fold a little bit more over that right leg without twisting the hips. Stay active, pressing down through that right heel. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. 2 more breaths here. Start to walk your way back into your low lunge, rebend your right knee, curl your left toes under, lift your left knee. Setting up for Vashisthasana on the second side, left hand, bring it forward, just one hand print. You start by just bringing the right foot halfway down the mat as you spin to the outer edge of the left foot. You can stay just like this and lift that right arm, or you can stack right leg on top of left. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Come to high plank. You can choose your vinyasa flow or you can rest. You can come to child's pose. You can be still and downward facing dog, whatever it is you like. And whatever you're taking, we'll meet in downward facing dog. Relaxing your head, lengthening out your spine. Feel the strength of your shoulders, your back body opening. Walk your hands back to meet your feet. Take your time getting there. Coming into your forward fold at the back of your mat. Option here in this Uttanasana to interlace the fingers behind the nape of the neck. Let the elbows draw down. Highly recommend always keeping a soft bend to the knees. If this is too much on the neck, just release the arms or grab your opposite elbows. Let them sway towards the ground. Fingertips come to the shins, lengthen out, halfway lift. Pause and keep that strength and length in the back. Bring your hands to your heart. Press down through your feet. Deep breath in, stand up. As you stand up, breathe in, reach the arms towards the ceiling. Breathe out, arms wide, folding all the way back in. Take your time to walk yourself back into downward facing dog. Knees come down just for a brief visit to child's pose. And then root through the forearms, the elbows. Keep the elbows in line with the shoulders. Shift your way forward. Curl your toes under. Forearm downward facing dog. You're pressing down into the elbows, the forearms, the palms of the hands as the hips lift and the legs lengthen back. Tailbone rising. Bring the gaze just between the forearms or the hands. Walk your feet a little bit more forward towards the elbows. This time, we're going to inhale and extend the right leg up and back. You're lifting onto the ball mound of the left foot. Just keep that hold. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Release that. Make your way back to child's pose. In this child's pose, bring your knees together to touch. Take your arms down alongside your body. Let the palms face the ceiling. Curl your chin in. Rest your forehead. Okay, third and final round, a few options to add on. We're coming back into forearm tabletop. Again, the key here is to set up the elbows with the correct alignment. That is in line with the shoulders, not wider, not closer. Palms are rooted, forearms are strong. You're lifting up and out of the shoulder girdle. A few rounds of cat and cow here. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Twice more. From here, forearm plank, walk your feet back. Lengthen out through the spine. Pause, just breathe. Slowly set the hips down, arrive into Sphinx. Notice what's happened to the elbows when you come into Sphinx. If you need to walk the elbows a little bit more forward, please do so. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. This time we'll skip that belly down, heel to glute, and we'll just stretch the arms forward, coming into that Superman-like shape. With the forehead relaxed. Press down through the pelvis. Inhale, stretch the arms and legs away from one another, lifting the heart, quadriceps engaged, knees lifting. Deep breath in. Exhale, elbows wide. Inhale, arms stretch forward. Exhale, elbows wide. Palms underneath the shoulders. Curl the toes, press back. Briefly travel through that active child's pose. Rise up to downward facing dog. Let your downward facing dog be nice and long. So if you need to adjust the hands, you can walk them forward or walk the feet back. Find your breath. Inhale, shift into high plank. In your high plank, squeeze your left heel into your glute. On your exhale, curl your knee into your nose. Bring that left foot between your hands and set your right knee down. Shift your hips back, half split. This time in your half split, point the toes down towards the floor. Press the fingertips down into the mat, lift up through the heart. And on your exhale, curl your toes towards your face. Press down through that left heel, around the spine towards that lengthened out left leg. Inhale, walk your way back into that low lunge. We'll set up for Vashisthasana. I'm going to give you one more variational option. Right hand, just bring it one handprint forward. Left foot, bring it halfway back your mat as you roll onto the outer edge of your right leg. You can stay just like this, or you can stack the left leg on top. Now you can stay in Vashisthasana like this, or second variation. Bend your knee into the chest, catch your left ankle, and then pull the heel to the glute, just like you did on your belly. Now you're on your side. It's a lot harder. Deep breath in. Exhale. Come back to high plank. If you'd like to move through a vinyasa flow, take it. I'm just going to come back to downward facing dog and rest while you all do what you need to do to find a neutral spine. And walk your hands back to meet your feet. Relax your head. You can interlace the hands behind the nape of the neck. Second option would be take your forearms behind your calves, cross your wrist, and then interlace your fingers between your legs so each hand is wrapping around the front of a shin. That nice spreading across the upper back as you curl your chin into the chest and forehead's reaching down towards the mat. You can always keep your knees bent here. Release that wherever you are. Fingertips pressed into the shins. Find that nice halfway lift. Press down into your feet, strong back. Bring your hands to your heart. This time, stretch the arms forward, bicep frame the ears. Deep breath in, stretch tall, rise up, reach up. Breath out, arms down alongside the body. Just pause here for a moment, standing at the back of your mat. Breath in, arms reach back up. And this time on your exhale, hands trace the midline, fold back in. Lock yourself into downward facing dog. Your downward facing dog, can you shift into your high plank? Bring your knees down. Come down to your forearms. Check out your elbows, your forearms, your wrists. Be sure that they're squeezing in towards one another. Be sure that they're actively pressing into the mat. From here, lift your hips again. Come into that forearm downward facing dog. Begin to walk the feet forward as you take the gaze between the forearms. Big breath in, lift your left leg. Keep the gaze forward. Now you could try to practice a couple of hops here. So you can bend the right knee, stretch your left leg up and back. Use a little momentum. Hop, hop, maybe 3 times. And when you're ready, lengthen back out, knees down. Passive child's pose, any variation you like. Two more deep breaths here. Bring your hands forward. Elbows, forearms down. 2 rounds of cat and cow. Forearms are pressing down. Knees are stacking underneath hips. You're only taking this as far as feels good on the neck, especially as you find that cow-like shape. So the belly drawing forward and the chin slightly lifting. Come back to a neutral spine, as neutral as you can make it, with the forearms engaged, palms pressing down. Find your forearm plank. Lengthen out through the spine. So the inner thighs zipper up, navel hug into the spine, back body broadens, the collarbone spreads. Bring your belly down, find Sphinx. And this time as we come onto our belly, I'll give you the option here to bend both knees, forehead down to the floor. Reach back, see if you can bind both hands to the respective ankles. I'm just pulling the heels in close to the glute. And then when you're ready, if you like, kick the hands into the feet, lift the chest. Roll onto the soft part of the belly. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Slowly release that. Palms underneath the shoulders. Press your way back to child's pose. Inhale forward, high plank. In your high plank, curl your right heel towards your right glute. Pause. Press the floor away around the spine, right knee towards the nose, right foot plants between the hands. Set your left knee down. Uncurl your left toes. Shift your hips back. Point your toes down towards the floor. It's like you're trying to seal the sole of the foot. Press down to your fingertips. Lift up through your heart. On your exhale, curl the toes towards the face. Now you're pressing down through the right heel. As you relax the chest towards that lengthened out right leg, keep the hips squared. Notice if you're dumping into one hip over the other. Inhale, walk your way back to that low lunge. Curl your left toes so you can lift your left knee. Now here's that optional variation, several variations on our Vashisthasana. We'll come to our left side. So left hand plants beyond the shoulder. Hand is one handprint forward. You bring your right foot halfway back down your mat. Roll onto the outer edge of your left foot. Now you can stack the legs and stay here in Vashisthasana. Or maybe you take that bind, right hand to right ankle, pull the heel behind you. Let yourself shake. Deep breath in. Breath out, high plank. Option to rest or flow. Take whatever you need here. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Once you're in your downward facing dog, begin to walk the hands back to meet the feet. Any variation of Uttanasana that you like. Here's where I'm going, Paschimottanasana, hands to the feet. So I pick up my left foot, slide the hand underneath the sole of the foot, pick up the right foot, slide the sole of the hand underneath the foot. My big toes and my little toes are reaching for my heel, the heels of my hand and the wrist. Once I've got that bind, bend the knees, take the elbows out to the side, relax the head towards the floor. Breathing in and out. If you've got that bind, hands to feet, release that. Fingertips walk to the shins, find that halfway lift. Press down into your feet, feel your navel hugging into your spine, feel your shoulders squeezing, hands come to your heart. Press down through your feet, extend your arms straight out of the shoulders, biceps frame the ears, palms are facing one another. Keep pressing down through your feet. Inhale, stretch the fingertips up towards the ceiling. Exhale, relax your arms. Close the eyes here, settle into your feet and your breath. One full cycle of breath. Inhale. Exhale. Blinking the eyes open, stretch the arms back up. Trace the midline of the body, palms come down through the center as you fold. Walk yourself back out into downward facing dog. Relax your head. In your downward facing dog, shift forward, high plank, pause there. Bring your knees down. Come to your forearms. Remember, setting up the forearms is really key here. So once you've got that set up, elbows in line with the shoulders, active through your hands, your fingertips, all 10 of them are pressing down into the mat, lifting up and out of the shoulder girdle. Curl your toes, lift your hips back up, walk your feet towards your elbows. Take your gaze forward. So you're stabilizing yourself on your arms. As you inhale, stretch your right leg up and back. You can stay here just reaching the right foot in the air, or maybe you hop 1, 2, 3 times, bending the left knee, find a little bit of momentum. When you're ready, child's pose. Release. Might feel nice on your shoulders to bring the arms down alongside the body. Forehead curls in towards the floor. For even more, you can take your hands to the low back. Palms are still facing the ceiling. Resting your dominant hand inside of your non-dominant hand. Breathing here. Good. Start to release that. Palms underneath the shoulders. Just lift up so you're coming to a brief seat on your heels. We'll cross our ankles. Roll the feet back, roll the hips back over the feet, and then bring the feet forward. Scoot yourself to the center of your mat. Come all the way down into your back. Hug your knees into your chest. Relax your shoulders here in the back of the head. And then bring your arms down alongside your body. Palms are facing the floor. Stretch your feet up towards the ceiling. So right away, you're going to notice a couple of things. The low back, can it press down into the mat? Can the feet extend, or do you need to bend your knees a little bit? Either one is fine, anywhere along this trajectory. Now, if the legs are straight, you might add on another step. If the knees are bent and you're just working, lengthening out through the spine and relaxing the low back, this is where your work is. So if you're adding on, the legs are straight, your low back feels nice and relaxed, your spine is lengthening out on the floor. Move your shoulders down away from your ears, press down through your hands. You can press down through the entire length of the arms as the feet stretch up and overhead. And now maybe the feet reach the floor above you. Halasana plow pose. Slowly, slowly use the pressure of the arms into the mat to release out of plow. Meet your friends back in this Upavishta Konasana, legs up the wall, but this time it's an imaginary wall. Bring your feet, the backs of your legs down to the mat, and come up to a seat. And again, scoot to the center of your mat. Dandasana, staff pose, walk your hands back behind your hips. You can even actually take your hands down to the flesh of the glutes, pull it back behind you so you're sitting on the bony protrusions of your hips. Arms alongside the hips, press down there, inhale, lift up through the heart, flex your toes towards your face. Quadriceps are engaged, deceptively challenging shape to sit here nice and tall like this. Breathe in, breathe out. Now we'll walk our hands forward. You can bring your fingertips to your shins. See if you can keep a nice flat back, a nice long spine. If the feet feel accessible, you can go ahead and take your two-piece fingers around your big toes, still maintaining that nice flat back and straight arms. Deep breath in. That's feeling good. The back's maintaining that straight-like shape. You can sort of bend the elbows and move the belly towards the thighs. Breathe in, breathe out. And wherever you are in your forward fold, start to release out of that. Take a seated twist, hands come back alongside the hips. Bend your right knee. Your right foot crosses on top of your left thigh. Feel the sole of the foot. And then roll the weight back onto the sit bones. You can keep your left leg straight, or you can bend that knee, left heel. It's coming to the outside of the glutes. So you're still on your two bony sit bones. You're not sitting on either one of your feet. Press down through your right hand. It's behind your low back like a little kickstand. Inhale, sweep your left arm overhead. Rotate over towards the right hip. Hook the left elbow outside of the right thigh. And now you can stay here just like this, or if it feels accessible, you can snake that left hand down towards the left knee. Lifting up and out of the waist, out of the shoulder. Maybe you take the gaze over the right shoulder. Think about length first over depth. Nice tall spine, nice fluid breath. Unwind it, go slow. Come back through staff pose. Feet extend forward, come onto your sit bones. Hands alongside the body, lift up through the chest. Second side, step by step, we'll set this up. Bending the left knee, left foot, move over the top of the right thigh. Come back to that nice tall seat. You can keep that right leg straight, or you can bend the right knee. So the heel of the right foot comes towards the outer left hip. You're not sitting on either foot. You're sitting on your bony sit bones. Left hand comes behind you like a little kickstand. Press down there, lift up, grow tall. Sweep the right arm towards the ceiling. Rotate towards the left hip. Hook your right elbow outside of your left thigh or knee. Those right fingertips can just stay pointing up towards the ceiling. Use a little bit of that elbow into the side for traction, or the right hand can sweep down and bind the right knee. Deep breath in, grow tall. And your breath out, maybe you look over the left shoulder. 2 deep belly breaths. Go slow, unwind. One more time through staff dandasana. Just going to turn back to my mat. So I'm facing sideways of you now. Press down through the heels, flex the toes towards the face, lift up through the crown of the head. Now bend your knees, plant your feet wide, take your knees side to side. As you take your knees side to side, start to bend the elbows, walk down onto your forearms, and continue to move the knees side to side. Keep your feet wide. Now come all the way down onto your back. Elbows pull out to the side. You're making a goalpost shape with the upper body. Knees continue to move side to side. Good. One more time, hug the knees into the chest. Happy baby. Reaching for inner or outer edges of the feet. Your knees come wide. Your thighs are compressing on either sides of the ribs and the ascending and descending colon. You can sway your body side to side here, or you can hold still. Start to descend into Shavasana, lengthening out through legs, all the way onto your back. If it doesn't feel good to stretch your legs out long, feel free to bend your knees, plant your feet wide, and let your knees knock in towards one another. It works just as well for Shavasana as lengthening out through the legs. Start to relax your back body, moving your shoulders away from your ears, slightly tilting the chin towards the chest, lengthen out through the neck, palms face the ceiling. Breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. Here, feel the muscles of your face relax, the jaw soften, the eyes close. Shavasana. In your Shavasana, come into a place of listening. Continue to rest your whole back body, your whole front body. Everything softens into the floor beneath you. We'll come back to our chat about Abhyasa practice, picking back up from the book Meditations from the Mat. Just come into a space of listening. Oftentimes I feel unworthy of my practice. I remember the lofty, virtuous times of my practice and I compare those times to my present condition. Pretty soon, I feel as though I don't even deserve to practice. Other days, I am on top of the world. I get it. I truly get it. The world needs me, and meeting my destiny is even more important than my practice. And then there are times when I am in the middle of the road. I am right-sized and my practice is right-sized. But I cannot wait around for those middle road times. If I am not practicing right along through all the highs and lows, I will never return to the middle road. My very first practice was abstinence from alcohol through the use of the 12 steps. When I was about 2 years into that practice, a woman asked me what I wanted in life. I told her that in 25 years, I wanted to be 27 years sober. She told me that if I continued to feel that way, it would probably come to pass. Abhyasa, or practice, is really about making something a priority. As we enact that priority, an energy builds in our life to support it. When I first got sober, I was astounded to hear about homeless people who drank every day for years. I just did not understand how they could afford it. What I failed to realize is the power of making something a priority. If drinking is your priority, you will find a way to do it whether you have a roof over your head or not. By choosing to practice yoga, we are saying that our spiritual growth is important to us. We are making it a priority. Our practice is a shelter we build for our spiritual selves. It is the work that we do to safeguard and support the possibility of spiritual growth. The winds of life constantly wear away the shelter, but if we stick to our tools, the shelter will hold. A couple more deep breaths here. Slowly bring your awareness back into the body, back into the breath. With an inhale, stretch the arms high overhead. Bring your legs together, point the toes, reach through the fingers. On one of your next exhalations, bend both knees, slowly roll off to a side, find fetal position for just a moment or two. With as little effort as possible, an invitation to keep your eyes closed or a soft gaze. Begin to rise up toward a comfortable seat. As you settle there, breathe in, stretch your arms out wide, reach them up and overhead. And as you exhale, bring your hands together at your heart. Relax your shoulders, bow your chin to your chest. Take a moment to honor your effort and your practice, your abhyasa, however it takes form in your life, whatever ritual it is, whatever you consider your practice to be. May it be sacred and meaningful to you. May it move you forward on your spiritual path. Namaste. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Have a lovely week.